You think I'm being too harsh or unfeeling? I'm not going to apologize. I've been told that I have to apologize because my last video where I said I told you so was too harsh. Oh boy, guys, did I get a lot of backlash from that. Okay, we're going to talk about this because this, once again, really needs to be said and somebody needs to hear it. My last video, I was talking to the people who were calling me a fearmonger. That's who that video was addressed to. I was not even addressing the people who are in this situation right now. I really wasn't even talking about that situation as far as what is happening with them. I was specifically addressing the people who keep calling me a fearmonger. Now, here's what happens in these situations. People get all worked up and all in a tither. They don't actually listen to what is being said. They may watch the video, but they don't actually listen to what is being said. And yes, I did say, I told you so to the people who keep calling me a fearmonger. These situations happen all the time. They happen all the time. As this is being filmed right now, our county is burning. There is ash everywhere. There are evacuation notices. It is a mess. Some of the purely stupid comments we got on that video saying, well, if they had a stockpile, it would be all washed away in the flood. Well, what good does it do to stockpile when it's all burned to the ground? You completely missed the point. You completely missed the point. What about the other 75, I'm just throwing out a number because I don't know what the percentage is, but what about the other 75% of the people who are cut off, but okay? If those people don't have water and food stocked up, valuable, precious resources from emergency management are having to be used on people who are just saying, well, God's going to take care of me. You're just fear-mongering. Oh, what's really going to happen? Oh, this never happens in North Carolina. This never happens in Georgia. This never happens in Tennessee. Oh, it happens in Florida, but you know, it happens every year, so we didn't evacuate because we get an evacuation notice every year. It makes me so angry when people are foolish like that and refuse to stock up and refuse to get water and refuse to get out. And then our law enforcement and rescue folks are putting their lives on the line because you were stupid. I am not going to apologize. I was not addressing those people who have a true need, those people who have had everything washed away and really need help. I was addressing the people who keep saying, when me and all the other people keep saying, you need to be prepared, and you just call us fear-mongering. When I started getting so much criticism, I was like, okay, was I too harsh? When that happens, I do go back and look at the videos and see if I misspoke, if I was too harsh, if I said something that was wrong or out of context. Was I not compassionate where I needed to be? Okay, did I do this? And I went back and watched the video and I'm like, I'm addressing the people who keep saying I'm just fear-mongering. I'm not addressing the people that are there. I have a great amount of compassion for people who have literally just had their houses and their lives washed away. I cannot imagine how difficult that must be for them. I'm not even talking about them at all. And one YouTuber said, you know, I was going out to help and the rescue and the firefighters and the police could not get through on the bridges because people were gawking and they were clogging up the streets and the bridges with just taking pictures. Okay, those people are well enough to be just taking pictures. I get it. If you're on your way to somewhere or something and you stop and take a shot, I get that. But if you're clogging up the bridge with cars running, you are wasting gas. First of all, if you're just going out to take pictures and you're not on an emergency run for something, stop wasting gas just going out gawking. Stop wasting gas getting supplies that aren't necessary. Keep those roads cleared for emergency people to get through and get help. Just this morning, they put a notice out. Please steer clear of the town that is on the verge of possibly burning down next to me. They're like, there's a huge wildfire right in the mountains, not even maybe 10 miles away, 8-10 miles away. I don't know how far the direct route is from here, but it's not that far. You can see on this map, we are down here where this little circle is, where it says Sheridan Fairgrounds, and you can see where the fire is. So it's not that big of a jump. But people are going up there and just taking pictures and gawking. And the firefighters are trying to get through. So stop just going out and wasting resources when you're in an emergency situation like that. These are the people I'm talking to, the people who are just being stupid. Here's a couple of other comments that I want to add. I'm not going to show the stupid people because I'm not going to give them credit in my video, but you guys can just go watch the video, look at the comments, and just have a cup of tea and just see what our world has come to. Because I left a lot of the comments on. This person, I don't know how to pronounce the name that they have, Alicia, I'm not sure, but she says, I will not criticize you. Why? Because you've always been right where I was concerned. You pulled me out of financial rabbit holes. You taught me how to stockpile in a studio apartment, no less, and cut back on stupid grocery purchases. Continue doing so. Friends protect friends. As far as I'm concerned, you're just out here protecting us. For that, I will always be grateful for you and yours. Thank you for that. The number of comments that I got from people that said, I live in a very small apartment. There's no way I can stock up. Well, I live on Social Security, or I only get so much a month. I can't stock up. That is a lie straight from the pit of hell. I don't care if you are the absolute poorest person in the United States. If you have a home, or even if you just have a tent or a car, you can stock up something. I don't care how low your income is. You can stock up something. Cut out the ding-dongs, cut out the ho-hos, cut out the soda pop, cut out the donuts, cut out the chips, and go buy yourself some canned food that you can have on hand if you are stuck and can't get out and can't get to the grocery store. Stop getting your nails done. Stop paying for all the subscriptions. Stop paying for all of the Starbucks, all of the coffees. Well, Tara, how am I supposed to enjoy life if I can't have any of those things? How much fun do you think those people in North Carolina that are stranded with no food and no water are having? You can't sacrifice 1 or 2 months or 3 months to stock up, to save your life, to stock up, to save the life of another person that could have been saved if fire and rescue wasn't dinking with you because you were unprepared? Debbie says, if any of these people had a stockpile, it's been washed down the river now. Those poor people got blindsided. Listen, I am not talking about the people who literally got caught off guard. But let me tell you, 95% of the time, you are not caught off guard. The majority of the time, you are not caught off guard. The majority of the time, you have been warned there's a tornado coming, there's a hurricane coming, there's a wildfire coming, there's whatever other disaster, I don't know, there's a strike coming. You've been warned. And yes, sometimes, that few percentage of times, an earthquake will hit, a dam will break, flooding will happen, even with dams breaking. I remember when I was a kid, there was a flood in Colorado and the dam broke and it wiped out and killed a bunch of people. They still had 5 minutes warning that they could have climbed to safety in the mountains. A lot of them didn't listen. So to say that these people were just blindsided Yes, that does happen. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. And I'm not saying that didn't happen in this case for a lot of people. But I also know I have seen tons and tons of videos where people were warned and they didn't get out. And now fire and rescue are having to go in and waste energy and resources to save those people that could have got out and should have gotten out. Just Laying Around says, sorry, not to have any emergency supplies or food on hand because it could get wiped away is like saying, why bother to save money because someone could steal your money? The point is to be prepared as you can within your control. I'm not sure why it's so hard for people to understand. My friend just went through Hurricane Helene and no aid is being sent to their smaller communities. They are left on their own and almost no media coverage. I had a viewer, I think it was Kimberly. Thank you, Kimberly, for everything you've been sending me. I've got content for the next 10 years. Oh my goodness. But I think it was Kimberly that sent me something and it was saying how they didn't approve FEMA relief. It's our federal emergency management here, for those of you who don't know, that comes in from the government and helps people when there's huge disasters like this. And she said that it wasn't passed in the budget to help these people. You may be on your own. Your insurance, there are reports over and over and over again of people calling their insurance companies and their insurance is like, well, it covers floods, but it doesn't cover a storm surge. The insurance companies are not going to want to be paying out for this stuff. And you may have to sue the insurance companies to get your money. Okay, what are you going to do for the next 4 or 5 years while you're in court suing them? What are you going to do to pay for everything? This is why you keep your finances in order. This is why you have an emergency fund of several months worth of your living expenses. This is why you have a stockpile. There may not be someone that's going to come in and save you. You may have to depend on yourself. You may have to realize, you know what, this is just life and it sucks. And guess what? I've just got to deal with it. All of these comments that I got were all based on their feelings. There's no compassion. Well, you've got to feel sorry for these people. Yes, I do feel sorry for these people who have had everything wiped away. I can't imagine how devastating that is. But you cannot just deal with life according to your feelings all the time. If people just went by their feelings for everything, oh wait, let's see, we are doing that. And let's see, what kind of a situation is our world in now? Is our culture in now? Because all these people are dealing with their feelings and being compassionate instead of the truth. The truth is, it takes one type of human body part to join another type of human body part, and you can't chop one off or add something else and make it work. It's not going to work. I don't care what your feelings are and what your compassion is, it's not going to work. All of these people that are being flooded into our country on purpose and just dumped on the streets, is that compassionate? To just allow people to just come in and then they're just dumped homeless on the street trying to figure it out? Is it compassionate to the people who in these cities have been paying taxes for years and years, and then all these hundreds of thousands of millions of people are just dumped on their towns and cities and expected to take up and use all of their resources? Is that compassionate? This is where our society has gotten to, because we go on our feelings instead of the facts. It's okay if you're upset when something bad happens to you. You cry and get it out. That's fine. But you cannot live in that continued state. There comes a point where you have to stop running everything by your feelings and start running it by the facts and what's happening now. How am I going to deal with this now? I get so frustrated and irritated when there's an emergency situation and there's a woman and she's just sitting there just screaming and screaming and screaming. Let's say a car accident. There's a car accident. And the woman is just sitting there screaming and screaming and screaming. Get a grip and help your husband and children or your friends. Stop your screaming. I know you're in shock, but get a grip and help. You're just sitting there screaming and people are injured. It's fine to have a gasp, a scream as a gasp of shock, a scream of, I wasn't expecting that. That's okay. But when you continue on and continue on, you need to be slapped and come back down to reality. And a lot of you right now need to be slapped and brought back down to reality and realize you are not going to have help coming in if you have a situation like this, and you need to stop running on your emotions and your feelings and do something to help yourself. Do something to stockpile. Do something to get your water in place. Do something to get all your papers in one place. Get your house decluttered so you can find all the papers that you need in an emergency situation. Is your house in order enough that if you had an emergency, you could easily, in less than 5 minutes, pick out all the things that you need to evacuate and get out? I can list person after person after person that I have known over my life that would not be the case. As I was thinking about if I was being too harsh, I decided to go into my analytics and take a look and see what my viewers really thought, not just what all the people were commenting about. And look at this graph right here. This video has been out 16 hours. We have 43 dislikes and we have 1,311 likes. That tells me right now that the majority of you understood what I was saying and knew that I was talking to the people who were calling me fearmonger, and know that it's up to you to take care of yourself and stockpile, and totally understood the message that I was trying to say. I found that very interesting. 43 dislikes and over 1,300 likes. There's proof right there. I did the whole screenshot. You can see it's the same video, everything. So I want to say thank you to all of you who did leave positive comments and understood and actually listened to what I was saying instead of just watching what I was saying. And thank you for giving a thumbs up. That really helps our videos, guys, when you do that. And we really appreciate when you do give us the thumbs up. That really helps get our videos out, and we really appreciate that. So before I go on to the next thing, thank you very much for that. Also, it's time you started learning skills to take care of you and your family. Do you know how to cut firewood if you were to need a little bit of firewood to make a small fire outside to cook your food? You know how to cook. Our Dining on a Dime cookbook in the description below, 25% off right now. But guys, our Dining on a Dime cookbook has things like taco seasoning, refresh stale crackers, all of those tips and tricks to save money so then you can build up a stockpile. All those tips and tricks on how you can combine different foods. Did you know that you could take canned chili and put it over hot dog buns and have a really tasty meal? You could put it over hamburger buns. You could put it over leftover bread and have a really filling meal. All those tips and tricks are in our Dining on a Dime cookbooks. Learn how to cook. Learn things. When that thing going around happened, nobody could get a haircut. Learn how to cut your family's hair. You know what the number one thing when I went and looked on Amazon after toilet paper was? Scissors that were out of stock. It was scissors out of stock for hair cutting scissors. Nobody had hair cutting scissors in stock. Do you have a pair of hair cutting scissors? Do you have an axe? Do you have a lighter? Do you have newspaper saved up to start a fire? Learn how to do these things so that you can take care of yourself and your family. So if you think I'm being too harsh or unfeeling, I'm not going to apologize. If you're ready to take responsibility for yourself and the safety of you and your family, please go watch this video next on 10 things you should stockpile. Visit us at livingonadime.com and we will see you guys next time.